So now you're the government. And around the world, women who are wealthy, well-educated, are refusing to have children, especially in East Asia. Right now, the fertility rate in China is about 1. Okay? About 1. The replacement rate that you need is a 2.1. So just to maintain your current population levels, every woman in China needs to give birth to at least 2 kids. But right now, on average, women are choosing to have 1 kid only in China. And the worst thing is that this trend is increasing. So 5 years ago, the fertility rate was maybe 1.7. Now it's 1. Okay, so the trend is very, very negative. Okay? So governments all around the world are trying to figure out what to do. How do you convince women to have more kids? And what we've discovered is it's impossible. We can pay you more money, like they do in South Korea. Guess what? It doesn't work. Because people don't want money, they want status. And status is a zero-sum game. Okay? Money is infinite, but status, power, is a zero-sum game. So we have overpopulation, we have too many people competing for too few status positions, you have decreasing fertility rates. And there's nothing you can do about it. The moment you give women choice, they choose to improve their lives by marrying someone better. Okay? Not all, but most. And so over time, what happens is your society collapses. If you look at history, the best indicator that a society is about to collapse is if the women who are wealthy and well-educated, if they refuse to have children. This is what happened to the Romans, who collapsed. This is what happened to many empires. This is what's happening around the world today, in America, in Britain, in Europe, in China. Okay? And this tells us that society is collapsing. So in other words, what this really is, okay, these superstructures, it tells us the life cycle of a civilization, right? So this is when a civilization is young, then it matures, it grows, and then it collapses. Okay? And if you look at history, all civilizations go through this process of birth, maturation, and then collapse. And there's no way around it. So the power of game theory is that just by studying one aspect, okay, if I just study this game, all right, I figure out who the players are, the rules, and the incentives, I can figure out what the superstructure of the civilization is, okay? And then once I have these two, I can now figure out where it came from and where it's going. Okay? That's what I want to teach you in this class. How to analyze a situation so you understand the players, the rules and incentives, which will give you insight into the superstructure so that you can figure out where it came from, and then you can also predict where it's going. All right? So, but you can also look at the superstructure and figure out what the game is being played. Okay, so this is one example, but throughout the semester we'll be doing many different examples of game theory. Is this clear so far? Are there any questions? Any comments, any questions before I move on? All right. All right. All right, so let's just look at some basic facts. Okay. All right, this is a map of the world, okay? As you can see, okay, so the color scheme is this. The red is where the population, the society has an above replacement fertility rate, okay, so above 2.1. If it's dark red, like here in the middle of Africa, it's 6 to 7 or 6 above, okay? And why is it that the case? Because Africa is in a situation where it's a growing society with middling tech, so a lot of people die, lots of competition, so to survive, families have to give birth to a lot of kids, okay? They have no choice in the matter. But then you move to the rest of the world, okay? So this is North America, Europe, and East Asia, the 3 wealthiest parts of the world. And guess what? The fertility rate is collapsing because now we've entered the end game where it is overpopulation, too much wealth, so too much inequality. And so women are forced to pick the best possible mate or not have children at all. All right? And here the situation is very, very dire. North America and Europe are kind of okay. Why? Because of immigration. Because even though their women are not having children, they can choose to import people for their labor force. But East Asia is really, really screwed, guys, okay? So just look at this region. Okay, so China is 1, but the worst is South Korea. South Korea has the lowest population the lowest fertility rate in the world. They're at between 0.6 to 0.8. So they're probably gone in 50 years' time. It's so bad that when you go to South Korea, there are signs outside restaurants that says no dogs and no kids. They think that kids are a problem. Okay? So you look at these areas, again, they are poorer, so women are forced to have more children in order to survive. Okay? But you look at wealthy areas, well, they're probably gone in 100 years' time. Okay? It's total collapse. The solution that governments are choosing right now is to import immigrants. Okay? So these are the trends right now. And it's causing a lot of disruption in society because guess what, guys? People don't like outsiders. People don't like immigrants. But they don't have a choice in the matter because along with the fertility crisis, it's the aging crisis where your population is getting older and older. Okay? So the world is not that simple. If you want to know who will rule the world in 100 years' time, just figure out in which society do wealthy, well-educated women choose to have children? And then that society will rule the world. Okay? It's that simple, right? Well, unfortunately, if you do it that way, you get a really, really disturbing answer. Okay? So this is per capita GDP, okay? So how much people make. All right? So obviously, if you're 0, you're very poor. And if you move to over here, you're very wealthy. Okay, so the United States is the wealthiest society in the world, right? Sure, we can understand that. Then this is the fertility rate, which tells us how many children women have on average. Okay, so again, 2.1 is replacement rate, okay? 2.1 is replacement rate. So the United States is actually below replacement rate, but the United States doesn't really care because it can import immigrants, okay? China is probably around here somewhere, okay? Angola is up here, but it's poor. So what this map tells us is a country that is most likely to be dominant for the next 50 years is this country, Israel, okay? It is the only wealthy, Western, high-tech society in which women choose to have more than 2 kids. Okay, this is what game theory teaches us. And yeah, I know there are people who are like, yeah, but Israel, it has 9 million people. And it's in the middle of a desert. And everyone hates Israel. I understand that. Thank you very much, okay? I understand that. But if you just analyze how the game works, okay? If you just look at it objectively from a game theory perspective, you are forced to conclude that Israel right now has the major advantage over everyone else. Now, it is possible that societies will change the fertility rate as the world changes, okay? But I'm saying that given the current state of things, Israel, their growth trajectory is very, very high. But then the question then is, okay, why is it that Israel, they are different from everyone else? And the answer is because the world hates them, okay? Because they think they are different from everyone else and they must unite together to survive. So in Israel, fertility is status, okay? If you are a woman and you give birth to a lot of kids, that means that you love Israel. That means that you are doing what you can in this war for survival. It means you are a patriot, okay? But this has to do with religion. So what the West has done is not only has it created a dating game where a woman can choose to have kids, but the Western world has also given up on religion and embraced materialism, right? So what is valued in our world, in the West, it's not patriotism or love of family or religious duty, it's just how many Instagram followers you have. It's how many YouTube subscribers you have. It's how much money you have. Okay, that's all that matters. So given the current state of events, it's very hard for the Western world and really for China to survive for the next 50 years, okay? And I know like, well, China has 1 billion people, so even though, you know, we're only giving birth to 10 million kids a year, we'll still be around for a long, long time, okay?